Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jade, also known as the Starbook on YouTube and Instagram. Welcome back to actually the first video of 2025. I know I've been away for a couple months. I'm happy to finally have time to sit down and film a video for you guys. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been traveling and working a lot the past few months. We actually took a trip to Asia to spend Chinese New Year with our family, and we had a little trip to Japan, which is long overdue. We've been intending to go to Japan since 2020, but we haven't been able to make the trip. So you can only imagine how happy we were when we found ourselves in Japan. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys a bit about the stuff I bought in Japan, but I also want to go over the bag that I was using this whole trip because I did get some questions about this specific bag before. So without further ado, let's dive straight in. So the bag I'm talking about, of course, is my Kelly 25. This one is in the color Beton, in the shape Retourne and with Togo leather. Some of you guys have seen this bag already. I think I did a comparison video with this bag at some point in my YouTube time. I can't remember. If I find it, I will link it somewhere for you guys. Given this bag is a Retourne bag, it is a softer construction. Those of you that have been following me for a while know that I really love Cellier, so Retourne isn't exactly the kind of shape that I usually go for. But for this trip, I decided to just take this bag with me. For about 3 weeks that we were in Asia, this was the only bag I had with me because I thought we were gonna do some vintage shopping in Japan. But anyways, I will get into that in the second part of the video, starting off with the proper review of this bag. So in general, I found this bag to be really practical. Like any Kelly 25s, I think they're the perfect size for day-to-day use. It fits just the right amount of stuff for me when I'm going out. Compared to the Cellier bags, the Retourne is a lot softer because it's typically made with softer leather like Togo or Swift leather. It's a lot more malleable, so definitely I don't have to worry about the corners of the bag as much. And in terms of wear and tear, it's actually done quite well. I don't really see any visible marking on the handbag. Keep in mind, I am fairly careful with my handbags, so I do tend to take a fairly good care of them even when I'm on vacation. But as you guys can see, there is no obvious marking on the handbag. The corners are also in pretty good conditions. On Kelly's, typically you do see a bit of wear on the corner, especially given that this is a white bag. I'm very proud that I didn't actually to mark it up or anything. I do clean it with a microfiber cloth when I have the chance to just make sure stains and dirt don't stay on the handbag. In terms of what fits into the bag, it kind of carries all my daily necessities. I've actually filled it back up with everything I would take with me when I go out so that I can show you guys what fits inside. So here you can see this is everything that I would take with me when I'm traveling. It still has room for a bit more, and sometimes if I'm gonna film or vlog while I'm traveling, I have my DJI Osmo vlogging camera, which also fits inside. I don't really have an issue with it. It does get a bit heavy at that point, but it's still a bearable amount of weight to carry on for about a full day. So anyway, let's go over what I have inside my bag. So first, I have my passport, which is a necessity when you're traveling and you want to detax for stuff. Next, I have my power bank, which I love this one because it's fast charging and I keep it with me all the time because I'm taking pictures. So my phone's constantly out of battery. I need this with me. I also have a little pouch that you guys seen a million times. This is for my jewelry. In Japan, I actually use this for coins because in Japan you use cash a lot of time and a lot of machines only take coins. So this one actually became a coin pouch, which is I think what it's originally intended to do. I have my sunstick, which I keep with me regardless of the season, just because I really like how this one feels and it gives a natural glow to your skin, which is perfect for someone that doesn't like to wear makeup. Next, I have my Vaseline lip balm, which works really well to keep my lips hydrated when I'm traveling. I usually have my AirPod. This is the bigger one, just for when we're on a go or we have to hop onto a train. Next, some tissues, and then I have my handy hair clip that I always keep with me because my hair is getting longer. It kind of gets in the way when I'm eating, so I have to have this with me to be able to put it up. And then lastly, also another important device, which is my phone. This is the Huawei phone, which is a bigger one. I think it's about the same size as the iPhone Pro Max. Here's my regular phone, here's this one. So just for size reference for you guys. Yeah, so this fits into the Kelly 25, no issue. And that's it. That is everything that goes into this bag. It can fit probably another pair of sunglasses or something on top of everything I've just shown you. As you can see, it's a pretty handy bag. On its own, it's fairly lightweight, but with everything I've just shown you inside, it starts to get a bit heavy. And frankly, the only time I find it a bit too heavy is when I carry my vlogging camera around. Then it starts to be quite solid of a piece. Otherwise, perfect travel bag. I did get a question on Instagram asking me if I preferred Retourne or Kelly for traveling in the 25 size. Personally, I think I still prefer the look of the Kellys just because they're more structured. I definitely notice wear more on the Retourne just because it's softer. The more you use it, the more it's going to sag. So that's just a personal observation. And I think also because this bag is basically white, it's like a grayish white, it can get dirty more easily. So that's basically it for the quick review of my Kelly 25. It basically takes care of all my daily needs and it goes with everything I wear. Moving on, I wanted to cover a bit actually about vintage shopping in Japan because that was a huge part I was looking forward to. And obviously on this trip we were planning to go to Kyoto and Osaka only because I've been in Tokyo. So we decided to stay on that side of Japan. And I have a Kyoto vlog that I'm trying to edit because it's like an hour and a half and I'm trying to edit it down to something that makes sense in terms of time but also in terms of flow. But I will put that out probably next video. But this time I want to talk to you guys specifically about Osaka because that's where the vintage shopping happened. Kyoto doesn't really have a scene for vintage shopping. We did go to a location in Kyoto for vintage handbags, but there was basically nothing. So just for you to know, if you are looking for vintage shopping in Japan, Kyoto has nothing to offer. Osaka, on the other hand, is a little bit better stock in general. There's a lot of vintage shopping stores. I mean, compared to Tokyo, obviously it has less, but it's still fairly vibrant. I want to walk you guys through actually with some footages and the kind of stores we visited. There is an area essentially in Osaka that I'm not going to attempt to pronounce because I will mess up the pronunciation. I'll show you guys on the map, and it has all of the vintage store, all of the shopping district, huge malls. It was super vibrant, lots of food. So we kind of situated ourselves around there for the shopping, and I essentially just took an afternoon and did vintage store hopping because they're all clumped together. We went to Branov, we went to Amora, we went to all of the reputable vintage stores. And one thing I have to say is that I went into this whole thing thinking that I'm going to find a unique Chanel vintage handbag because I haven't bought any Chanel in so long and I wanted a unique vintage piece. It didn't end up happening because all the stores basically carried the exact same models of vintage Chanels and the condition of the bags were pretty similar. There was really nothing that really caught my attention, and I think also because I'm someone that really take care of my items and I like to keep them looking as pristine as possible. That was just something really hard to find on the vintage market. Everything is dated, that is the aesthetic, and I think that was just not the right move for me personally. Moving on to the other thing I was kind of hoping to find on my trip to Japan was a vintage Hermès mini Kelly in black box leather with the big handle and with a shoulder strap. So this model of handbag is actually very, very popular. As you guys know, it kind of goes for a pretty crazy resale price because a lot of people want it. I actually found quite a few. They're all the same shape, the same style, black box leather, vintage mini Kelly. The conditions are very, very different. Basically, the vintage shopping system has different grading. I think grade A is the best one, and then there's grade B, and then I will put the grading system on the screen here for you guys to look at. Essentially, I found one in each store that fit into one of these categories, and one of the store had a really nice one that was basically in perfect condition. It was from my birth year, but the price was just monstrous. I just couldn't justify spending that much money on a vintage handbag as much as I liked it. Basically, by the time we arrived in Osaka, I also got a call from my SA saying that my exotic special order has arrived in Paris for me. So that also kind of deterred me from making a big purchase when I'm in Osaka, because I knew something very special and exciting was waiting for me back in Paris. So yeah, I don't know. I have to say, overall, the stock and the condition of the bags that we saw in Osaka was a little bit disappointing. I was expecting a little bit more variety, but I think all of the stores pretty much just stock the models that are readily available or just pure. So if that's what you're looking for, I think you will find something that you like. Just make sure you go to all of the stores because they basically carry the same things, and compare the prices because it really ranges. And then from there, you know, make a purchase and I'm sure you'll be happy about it. But for me personally, for what I was looking for, I just didn't find the thing I was looking for. So in the end, I didn't actually buy anything. We do want to go back to Japan next year, to Tokyo. So hopefully there'll be a little bit more to offer, especially for vintage Chanels. I really want to find something cool, unique, and like in really good condition. So that will just have to wait. But now moving on to what I actually bought in Japan. There's a lot of bits and pieces that I want to show you guys because frankly, we really enjoyed our time in Japan. We loved the food and we loved everything. I think to me and my partner, everything in Japan was just like 15 to 20% better. Even though it's exactly the same things, it was just more suited to our preferences and more suited to our palette. But anyways, let me move on to bits and pieces we bought in Japan. I wanted to show you guys specifically some ceramics we got because they're honestly so gorgeous. So these ones, we got them in Kyoto when we were visiting the temple. We just walked past a ceramic shop and I was really drawn to these, so I decided to get them. And you can see the details. It's super pretty. It kind of reminds me of like the ocean and the waves, and then the inside, it's like this. These are actually meant to be matcha bowls. I think we're just gonna use them for rice. So I actually got 2 of them instead of 1, and they're kind of the perfect size for serving rice. So yeah, these are the first thing I got. Next, of course, we had to get some matcha because we were in Kyoto and Kyoto is known for their matcha. So here we got 2 from this brand called GOKAGO, I think. It's quite famous. I see it on Instagram, I see it in people's tour guide, and basically it's just en route to one of the temples. And this one here is the matcha powder, and then the other one is the Hojicha powder, which is roasted green tea, and my partner preferred this one over normal matcha. Beside these 2, we also decided to try some of the other stuff they had. This one is a sweetened matcha, which we thought was interesting. Moving on, when we visited the temples, we also picked up some charms for good luck. So they come in these little pockets, and this one is one of them. This one I think is for fortune, good fortune. And then we got another one for good health. So they're just super cute. You're supposed to keep them close to you, like either in your wallet or in your bag, just for good luck. And these 2, I mean, they're not, I don't think they're anything really proper, but we got these 2 also in Kyoto because they're just so cute and they kind of reminded us of our cat. And they also have a little tail, which is super cute. So we're gonna give these to our cats and see how they react to them. They're so soft and squishy. Next, we got these aroma stones, which looks like this. And it's basically a stone that you can put essential oils and it will keep the smell of the essential oil. We got one that looks like this. This shop was also in GION, and the store owner was super cute when we were there, and he let me film all of the rocks, which was super cute. And here I have the oil that we got that comes with this one, and I think we got peppermint. And you're supposed to put 3 drops onto the stone. Next, I wanted to show you guys all the things we picked up from the Japanese drugstores, and some of these you can actually get in the 7-Elevens and convenience stores in general as well. These 3 drinks specifically I'm going to show you, you can buy them in all of the convenience stores, and I actually drank them every day when we were in Japan because we were walking like 10,000 plus steps and I was sore and exhausted, and these were actually really helpful. So the products specifically that I look for are these. So they come in these like jelly type package, but they also come in like this bottle drink. So you guys can see, this is what it looks like. And basically this one is for bloating and water retention, and because we had actually a photo shoot when we were in Kyoto, I wanted to make sure that I'm not bloated, so I downed a bottle of this, and it actually helped the second day morning feel like there was less water retention on my face. It tastes really like sour. It's kind of like a lemonade sparkly type of drink. But there's another one that's for fatigue. So these also come in the glass bottle version I showed you earlier, which I find the glass bottle one's more effective, but this one is just easier to carry because it's a soft packaging. And basically you can drink this after you've been walking around all day in Japan, and it helps a lot with muscle soreness and fatigue, and I think it helps a little bit with sleep as well. So we took this basically every day that when we were there, and I don't know if it actually really helped. To me, I feel like it did to some degree. Like I wasn't as fatigued and as sore the next day even though we were walking so much. So I highly recommend you to try it out if you are planning to go to Japan and doing a lot of walking. The next three things are things you can buy in the drugstore specifically. This one, my friend recommended it. It's basically a painkiller, and she said it's the most effective painkiller that she's ever taken. So we decided to buy some, and we did use it once we were back in London and we're dealing with jet lag and a headache, and it did work really fast compared to the ones you can find in the Western market. So specifically, because this brand has many different types of painkiller, we recommend the Eve Quick, which is the fast acting one. And then the next two, one of them is basically by the same brand as the drink I was talking about earlier. I think this one, if I remember correctly, is again for muscle soreness and also for bloating in general. I've tried a pack already and it works decently well, I would say. It's not a dramatic difference. You just feel like your face doesn't retain water as much, which is nice. And then this one is basically a probiotic that you can take, and it helps with breaking down food. So sometimes if we had sugary food or a little bit too much carb, I tend to take this, and it just helps with digestion. I find this one works better for me than some of the other probiotics that I can buy here on Amazon in the UK, and you really don't need to take much of it for it to be effective. For me, usually I take 2 and that's enough for me, and the recommended dose is maximum 4 a day. That is everything I bought when I was in Japan. Hopefully it was interesting. Hopefully you found something insightful. I'll be posting my vlog for Kyoto and our next video. I don't know if it's gonna be next week or in 2 weeks. It depends on how long it takes for me to edit all the footage. Please be patient with me as I'm trying to figure out my work schedule around with filming again, trying to manage my job and the 2 weddings that I'm planning, and YouTube. It's just been a bit difficult. So I'm trying to find a balance point between all of these things. I am going to Paris to pick up my special order soon, which I will document the process. We're also attending a special event at Hermès, which I'm going to document and try to include in the vlog for my special order. Hopefully I'll be able to share it with you guys soon. And I also have my wedding bag that I need to show you. There is a whole story around it that happened in December. Some of you guys on Instagram got a peek of it, but I need to still film that video and talk about it because, oh my god, there's always so many complications when it comes to dealing with Hermès these days. I feel like things are just getting more and more complicated. Anyway, that's a wrap. Hope you guys enjoyed my first video here back on YouTube. I can't wait to bring more content to you guys in 2025. But that's it for now. See you next time. Bye!